The dream of moving up the property ladder has turned into a nightmare for some homeowners. Many buyers in 2021 and 2022 bought whatever they could afford with the hope that they could build equity and in the near future use it to help them move into a bigger and better home. Except the real estate market shifted, prices started dropping, and now those homeowners feel stuck in their homes unless they're willing to sell at a significant loss. In this video, we're going to look at a real-life story from CTV News about a young homeowner who thought they were doing everything right but has now put their life on hold as they feel stuck in their one-bedroom condo apartment in Toronto. If you're planning on buying your first home in the near future, there are good lessons to be learned from this story. And if you're new here, my name is Jessie McClellan and I'm a realtor here in Oshawa, Ontario. I make videos about our real estate market to keep you up to date on everything that's happening, especially in Durham region and the GTA. If you'd like to follow along, then subscribe to the channel and click the like button to help me reach more people like you. I'll include the link to the article in the description in case you'd like to read it, but to summarize, Jordan was a first-time home buyer who bought his first home at the age of 26, a one-bedroom condo apartment in Toronto's King West neighborhood for about $600,000. His goal was to build equity and eventually move into a house before the age of 30, but months later that plan started to fall apart. He bought with a variable rate mortgage, and of course in 2022, the Bank of Canada started aggressively increasing the interest rates. This caused his monthly mortgage costs to increase by $500 a month, and he chose to lock in at a fixed rate that was a little bit higher due to fear of it continuing to increase. The article goes on to talk about Jordan taking on a second job, working from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. for months just to make ends meet. Now he has a girlfriend and their plan is to get married and have kids, but they want to buy a house first, because obviously a one-bedroom apartment is really tight to be raising a family in. Unfortunately, in order to buy a home, they need to sell their condo first. But in order to sell their condo, they would have to take a significant financial loss. This is why they're left feeling stuck in a home that essentially forces them to put their life's plans on hold until something changes. As a realtor, it's tough to read stories like this. I think of the first-time homebuyers that I've worked with, and I would absolutely hate any of them to end up feeling stuck. Of course, hindsight is 2020. Buying a condo in Toronto at 26 is impressive on its own, and working 2 jobs just to stay afloat takes serious determination and deserves a ton of respect. This video is not about judging his choices. We don't know what advice he was given or what his options were at the time, but there are definitely lessons here that future buyers can learn from. The first thing that stood out to me when reading this article was in the very first paragraph. At 26, he bought his first home. He said he was determined to build equity and eventually move into a home before 30. As a general rule, I always try to tell buyers to have at least a 5-year plan when buying a home, especially first-time home buyers. Historically, home values appreciate, but when you zoom in and look at shorter periods of time, there can absolutely be volatility, especially in the current economy. There's no guarantee that if you have to sell in the next year, your home will have appreciated in value or appreciated enough to cover your selling fees. But over a period of 5 to 10 years, if you had to sell your home, it's far more likely that your home is worth more than you paid and you've built enough equity to cover the selling costs. Assuming you can trade up in the market quickly is much riskier than buying a space that provides you more flexibility. Life changes and it can change quickly, and you can't always future-proof every decision you make in your life, but you can provide yourself a safety net. I talk clients through the pros and cons and essentially out of homes all of the time, because it's clear that when they have children or when their children grow up, that home isn't going to work for them anymore, and they'll either quickly grow frustrated with it or feel forced to move. And usually a couple of years later, they end up telling us, I'm so happy that we bought this house, because they did end up having another kid or something else changed in their life, but they weren't forced to move. When it comes to mortgages, you have to have a serious talk with your mortgage broker and don't just always jump at the lowest rate available. Consider your options and if you can handle increased payments if rates jump or if stability is more important to you. In this story, Jordan took a variable rate likely because it was the lowest option available, and he was advised that the variable rate has been more competitive than a fixed rate. And while that's true, especially at the time, historically a variable rate outperforms a fixed rate in the long run. But when you're looking at fixed rates that are 1.9% like they were back then, there really isn't anywhere for those rates to go but up. And unfortunately, when his payments increased by $500 a month, he felt forced to lock into an even higher fixed rate. This is also why it's so important to work with a mortgage broker and a realtor that you trust and that you feel is always working in your best interest and not just trying to get you to spend your max or just buy any house. Actually, there's a quote from another realtor in this article where they said that there are two types of realtors, transactional and relationship-based. Transactional realtors are focused on volume and want to get this deal wrapped up and move on to the next one. Relationship-based realtors are more about taking your time, educating you, and making sure that you're making the best possible choice for you, regardless of how that impacts their commission check, because their business is based on past clients and referrals from past clients. If you're working with professionals who are more relationship-based and truly looking out for your best interests, they'll take the time to educate you on all of your options during the process, but also reach out to you after the sale to let you know of rate changes and what your next steps could look like. I know that homes are very expensive, and for many first-time home buyers, they don't have a super high pre-approval in comparison to the market, but just keep in mind that whatever your pre-approval is, that doesn't mean that you need to spend your max. If you don't feel comfortable with the monthly payment that comes with buying at the max of your pre-approval, then find out what you are comfortable with and set that as your limit, but adjust your expectations to what types of properties are available at that lower price point. And the last thing you should take away from this story is why it's so important to buy smart. Let's be honest, there's no home that's immune to a market correction. But if the market were to cool down significantly, always try to buy a property that will still be in demand. Something like a smaller one-bedroom condo, bachelor condo, homes in undesirable neighborhoods, and homes with poorly functioning layouts will be the first homes overlooked if the market cools down and more options are available for buyers to view. Those homes may sell for high values when the market is moving quickly and not much is available, but as soon as buyers have options, they start to overlook those properties unless the price is low enough to make it an appealing option. If you take anything away from this video, find a professional who isn't always trying to sell you on every home and isn't always trying to get you to spend more. Find the one who will talk you through and out of bad purchases and will help you plan for your future based on your goals, lifestyle, and what you're comfortable spending. Always buy with a long-term mindset, buy what you can comfortably afford, and buy something with resale in mind, even if it feels like it's a million miles away. If you do those things and you continue to educate yourself through videos like these and doing your own research, you're going to make an informed decision and set yourself up for long-term success. If you're thinking about buying a home and have any questions for me about our market or building the right plan for you, you can use the link in the description to book a call with me at a time that works best for you. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.